So this is your painting video. Hello, this is Miss Miller. You will have a lot of brushes, a paint palette, and a container of water. I'm gonna walk you through how I would like for you to work with these materials in order to paint your mask. All right, you should have a variety of brushes on this side. You might have a large, a medium, and a small, or you might have just a large and a small. Small brushes are for little spaces. For example, when you want to do detail on these, you want to use a small brush. Now, a big brush should be used for large spaces, maybe for the area of maybe the skin of your mask, so that you can cover a lot of space very quickly. What is really amazing is that this brush, let's use this example. This brush has a square or rectangular tip. That means that this brush can go into little cracks and crevices very nicely because it's square or rectangular, okay? So please use that to your advantage to get into all the little areas that you need to. You also can stand it up and you can draw this way kind of with the paint to get it exactly where you would like it to go, and that way you can control your paint. Make sure that as you're painting, you think about these little areas on the edge of the cardboard so that you also paint the little edges so that when somebody looks at it from the side, they can't tell it's cardboard because you have already painted it. All right, I have given you red, yellow, and blue. These are the primaries, and that means that you can mix them to make whatever color you would like. But you should not mix all of your red into all of your yellow because then you will no longer have red or yellow. You will just have orange. So what you can do is just bring it to the side, and you can make sure you have the right amount of yellow and the right amount of red that you would like for your orange. And now I have some orange, and I can paint whatever area I would like orange. So I will cover just this little area. I'm doing it carefully. You can turn your brush different directions to make sure you get good coverage. And then I'm ready to go, okay? Now, when I want to clean my brush, I don't need to splash or move it around really fast. The best way to clean your brush is to press the bristles against the bottom of the container. And you can scrub it just a little bit. Notice no bubbles, no splashing. And then you can see my brush is pretty clean. I'm going to pull the bristles across the edge of my water container to get the excess water off. And then you should have a paper towel. I have a Kleenex, and you will just dab it once or twice. And I'm ready to go to another color or to set my brush down, and I can switch brushes, okay? Lastly, we have black and we have white. Now, if the colors touch, they're gonna mix a little bit, but I don't want you mixing your whole tray because then you will get poop brown, and that is what you will have available to you instead of all of the beautiful colors that you have here. So yes, if they're touching, they will mix right there. It's fine. Remember that white allows you to make tints. So if I wanted sky blue, I could mix a little white with the blue and right here, and I could have a little bit of sky blue. The neater you are, the nicer your palette will stay until you're done painting. So if I want to make pink, I can pull some over. You're going to want more white than red, and I can make a pink that I would like. And there we have a tint, not a shade, but a tint. Now, shades are made when you take black and you mix it with a certain color. And so black is how we make shades, all right? So if I want to make maybe a dark red, because the black's already touching the red, I can just pull a little bit over, and you're gonna want more red than black because black is very strong and it's going to easily darken your red, okay? You see how it easily gets dark. So I just wanna pull a little more red. And now we have a lot of options on our palette, right? You do not need to mix any colors unless you're actually going to use them. Don't just be like, I'm gonna start mixing colors, and then before you know it, the painting time is done and you haven't even painted your mask. We're not here to play with color. We're here to use the color to paint our mask. If you would like a certain color, I believe you know how to mix them. I have just shown you about shades and tints, so you should have all the skills you need in order to have a successful painting experience. Please leave your palette on your tray. If for some reason your water is too close and it's up on an angle, your paint will travel and probably touch and mix too much. move your water over carefully or move it up and over. Make sure your palette is flat. And this way, any spills, any problems, any drips will land on the tray, and washing the tables will be very easy. Make sure your brushes are accessible to all of your friends at your table. And once again, when you clean your brush, just drag the bristles against the bottom of the container. You can check it. I might want to do mine a little more. And then when you think it's done, you can drag the bristles. Are we doing this? No. It splatters all over the table, all over people's artworks. It's not very nice. We're not tapping. We're also not doing any splatter. If you would like to make dots and patterns on your artwork, you want to use a small brush, and I will give you a little insider tip, okay? So you could use the bristles. Let's see, where do I want polka dots? And you can do this. This is not a perfect polka dot, but I will tell you what artists do. They will use the top. And so they'll dip that in a color, and it makes a very perfect dot. And the dots also progressively get smaller if you're paying attention. So if you do them in rows, you will get something that looks very advanced, even though all you're doing is using the tip of your handle of your brush. And so that's kind of a beautiful way in order to get some patterns if you're interested in doing patterns, okay? They will look advanced. Keep in mind that you may have to do 2 weeks in order to get all the little effects that you would like to have. Keep in mind, patterns are really cool ways to create things on your mask, and think about limiting your color palette. Maybe 4 colors is enough, and you come back to those different colors. Maybe you want to do rainbow. Maybe you want to do gradient and go from one color to another, or light or dark of a color. You could do that. So look at our inspiration sheets that are at your table and have fun painting.